Hey party people from the fifth dimension, this is your homeboy Angelo here, and I wanted to show you how crazy the world is we live in right now. See this rock, this big old rock here in the park? It's fake. It's fake. So what was once a rainforest, a temperate rainforest here in the Willamette Valley, is now an urban environment, a city park. We've got sports fields that are made out of fake grass, made from rubber, and then we have rocks that aren't really rocks at all. They're made out of plastic. Crazy, right? Whoa. That was weird. Look, another fake rock. What's happening, party people from the fifth dimension? This is your homeboy Angelo. Today I want to talk a little bit with you guys about knowing what's real from what's fake, knowing what's true from what's phony. Hard to know. I've said before that all things have an equal and opposite truth, or all truths have an equal and opposite truth. So whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. And also, whether you think it's real or think it's not real, you're right too, because it's all about perception. It's in the eye of the beholder. They say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Most everything is in the eye of the beholder. We create our own realities. We co-create our own realities, but at the end of the day, we ourselves create our own realities. We're not living in someone else's mind, in someone else's vessel. We are not sharing a soul. Now, some people might say that they're soulmates or they're twin flames or they're somehow connected to another person. That's a vibration. But we are on our own, just our own thing. We stand alone as our own entity, all alone, and we are always interconnected to all. So again, all truths have an equal and opposite truth. However, what's fake and what's real? We can go deep into the thinking realm or the overthinking realm, but right now let's focus on what's real and what's not real, what's fake and what's true. Whew. If there's fake rocks in a park here in the Pacific Northwest, what would the ancestors say 200, 300 years ago, even 100 years ago? Hell, plastic wasn't even around till 50s, 60s. Now everything in our world is plastic. And you know, plastic is synonymous to fake, phony, knockoff, imitation. Everything that comes out of your television set has an agenda. People are more tuned in now to their phones, and the phone isn't even really used for a phone. The phone is used for a computer, for social media, for gaming, for a camera. For what I'm doing right now, making this YouTube video for y'all. Are we real? That's the first question. Are you real? Or what does your actions match your words? Do you act the same way when the camera's turned off as you do when the camera's rolling? I'm sure none of us do 100%. However, what is the deal with what's real? Talk about food a lot on my program here because food's very important. I work with organic, non-GMO superfoods, biodynamic foods, real foods, not some kind of Franken foods, not some kind of tomfoolery, fakery, and fuckery. We're talking about real foods, foods that nourish the body. So we go into any given supermarket, whatever that supermarket is, some chain grocery store. 99% or more of that store is food that is not actually food. It's not actually good for you. And what does that say about the people walking around right now? We've got genetically modified people. All of the people who have chose to have this gene therapy, God save them, God love them, I love them. I love them all. But what were people thinking? What are people thinking? They're waiting for their fourth and fifth booster. Why are people living like this? Well, we have to look at the world that we live in. There's plastic rocks in the park that was once a temperate rainforest, a beautiful, pristine land until the late 19th century. Then gone, clear cut the whole thing. And then instead of replanting with all the native Douglas firs, western hemlock, and red cedar, They put these English trees in here, there's deciduous trees in here that drop their leaves, planted lawns. Everybody has gardens. Let's make it like the English, right? And that's the culture that we came from. Just like if you go to South America, you see all the Spanish culture there. The indigenous ways are behind us. But like I said also before, everything is nature. So those fake rocks over there in that portion of the park, that's nature, I guess. It is. It's the world we created, and we are part of nature. It's just the same as to say, seeing a colony of ants moving things around, or some bees that are pollinating and creating new versions of nature. That's exactly what we're doing right now. A lot of people, environmentally focused, are thinking we're killing ourselves, we're destroying our environment, we're extincting several species of animal life and other plants and life from Earth. Are we? Probably. But evolution moves on whether we're here or not. Perhaps we're a part of this design. This superficiality of reality that we see right now maybe is the perfect design. Everything is here the way it is for a purpose. You know, God don't make no trash. There's no mistakes in the universe. This is just one outcome in a potentially infinite series of outcomes in the universal field. Maybe not. So whatever I say, I argue to the opposite of that, or what I can conceive as the opposite of that, because even thinking that there's an opposite is probably not true to one perspective or multiple perspectives. And you can get lost in your head looking at the multidimensionality of everything around you and the breadth of wonderment that this universe has to unfold for us on a moment-to-moment basis. And are these even moments? Can they be separated? Can they be delineated from one another? They probably can't, because all we know is the business of the isness, where we live right now. So let's take some breaths. Whew. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Let's not get too caught up in question. It's great to question. Always question everything you think. It's important to think everything that you know could be completely false, or there's another perspective to it. Don't get caught up in that catabolic overthinking that I talk about so often. Allow things to flow through you. Be organic. Be real as you can be. You have an inner compass, a true north within you that knows what's good and bad for you, what's right for you, what doesn't feel good for you. And the way to establish this is to love yourself, to clean out your vessel, to nourish yourself, to maintain that, and keep living the way you know God intended for you to live. That's called your wise self, your true north. The self with a capital S. Wise self. Nurture that inner child. Heal those wounds. And be real. Always be real. First with yourself, because when we start being honest with ourselves and being true with ourselves, then we have the capacity to do that with everyone else in our lives. I'm not going to be putting any plastic rocks around my yard anytime soon, because I like the real thing. There ain't nothing like the real thing, like Marvin Gaye said. That's the message of the day. I love you all. Have a beautiful day. Peace.